done. It's just them normalizing the fact that we can. This is the United Uprising channel. Welcome to today's show. A lot of people have asked me to listen to this Dennis Quaid, Tucker Carlson interview, and it's nothing new out of the sun. It's just them normalizing the fact that we can expect the power grid to go down. Now, I talked about this for years, and the reason that I talked about it for years is to prepare the audience out there, the people who have listened to my channel over the years, the millions of people that have listened over the years, despite what it looks like now, about what is coming and how to be prepared for it, and most importantly, or just as important, I should say, and to not fall for the deceptions that will come when this event occurs. There's a narrative in place that they want you to believe in. Solar flares, climate change, that it's all naturally occurring when it's not naturally occurring. Okay? Tucker Carlson, Dennis Quaid, these gatekeepers are prepping their audience for this. They're not warning them. They're not warning them from the standpoint of how to prepare and what to do about it. They're telling them that it's coming. So when it happens that, hey, they already were mentally prepared because we've seen it over and over and over again through predictive programming, which I'm about to show you at the end of this video, but also who to blame for this. Because if they came on TV and told you the truth, or they came on YouTube and told you the truth, or went on Twitter and told you the truth would cause an uprising to occur. And that's why these gatekeepers are allowed to keep their platforms like Tucker Carlson. That's why he pretends to be censored on Fox News, but it's not censored on YouTube, where the rest of us are. It's to make sure that you point the finger at the obvious boogeyman in the room. That's who they want you to blame. But if he came out, and these people came out and said, you know what? When the grid goes down, it's because they flipped a switch. Because they've been telling you for years that they want to switch the entire infrastructure and power structure. That's what they talk about at the World Economic Forum. That's what they talk about over and over again. People roll their eyes and don't pay attention to it. And they think it has something to do with the climate. There's nothing to do with the climate and everything to do with control. I put together a bunch of clips from this Dennis Quaid interview that I'm about to play for you. Listen to a lot of the talking points. A 100% chance probability that's going to happen. Right? Watch the duping delight on Tucker Carlson's face throughout this, playing dumb, pretending like, here's a guy who already lives off grid, claims to live off grid, lives in a cabin now, but he's not prepared for any of this. Oh, I've never heard of this stuff. And listen to the key points about the telegraph system, okay? Don't let that stuff bore you when they talk about 1859 and this is all make-believe that they're making up about how those things happen with solar flares. They're preparing you for a massive switch in the infrastructure. Everything has to break for them to build this new smart society they want. That's what everyone out there needs to realize. They're not just rolling this in. They have to destroy everything so people don't have a choice, so that they just come in with this smart technology and this new green infrastructure. Of course, no one willingly is going to want green energy. But when they shut the grid down and they destroy the entire infrastructure, they'll be the ones who come in with the resolution to it. And everybody will just be happy to have electricity again and running water again. But the simple fact is, they're going to give you the boogeyman narrative about solar flares and all this other crap. But it's going to be a switch that is flipped by these people, which is why they're prepared and all dashing, they're storing all their stuff in Antarctica and their underground tunnels, because they don't want to be on the surface level when they see how the civilians react, looking for food, looting from one another, and blaming one another, of course, because this will be a left and right thing. Oh, you're a Republican, you weren't listening to the narrative about the climate. They'll continually blame it on each other and on the boogeyman. When our government, the globalists in power, the Republicans and Democrats in power are responsible for this. Listen to this.
There's a 100% probability our sun generating what they call a GMD is a solar storm. It's our Earth magnetic field that we have around the Earth and fry everything that is electric above the ground, including our entire grid.
And this would happen organically, naturally? That's just what the sun does?
Yeah, there was they call it a Carrington event, which happened in, I think it was 1859. Basically, we had telegraph lines as far as electricity, and it fried our entire telegraph system. Had to be replaced. And
the entire thing?
The entire thing. Imagine what that would do now. There's a 100% chance of it happening. A 100-year event, they call that one. And
I'm not going to map, but
in the trillions of dollars, it would take out not only the electricity, but all of our entire infrastructure and our society runs on electricity. We don't know how to live without it. There wouldn't be any water in your tap. You couldn't get gas for your car. Everything that we rely upon would be gone. The food would melt in our refrigerators. And they predict within a year, about 90% of the population would be dead from starvation, disease. It gets back to the Stone Age again.
Well, that's shocking.
Yeah, so
bit of
it
information.
really lifts your day.
I'm adding that to the Armageddon file. It's growing.
Nobody's on something that might occur, but this is definitely going to occur.
This is
not what you call an enemy. This is the sun that we rely upon every day, and these solar storms that happen. Everybody's seen pictures of the sun where the storm is happening, these flares come out, and they're ejected out into the solar system. I think it was 2014. We barely missed one by 5 days, and it's going to happen. And then once it hits the Earth, there's a 50% probability of it either being us or the Eastern Hemisphere, who's ever exposed to that's the sun.
So an event like this happened in 1859, and it took out our entire telegraph system. And yet we built a system that's vulnerable to it.
Yeah,
how did that happen?
Well,
So there's so much to take out of it, right? We built a system that's vulnerable to it, right? That's a very important talking point. I know you're going to see other people talk about this interview. It's really important you listen to some of the stuff that I'm talking about here, okay? Not the point about, hey, go get food and all that stuff. That stuff has been important forever, okay? It's obviously important to have food and all these other things ready to go because we know something's coming, right? We've all known. Before the outbreak occurred, for those of you that are still listening to my channel, okay, I was a pretty big YouTuber then, I was talking about years in advance the same thing happening that just happened. And it's not because I'm Nostradamus. It's because they tell us that it's going to happen. The problem that we have in this society is that they tell us this stuff, this is part of universal law, this is part of sigil magic, they tell us these things beforehand, okay? But what other people don't mention is that they tell you ahead of time also why it's going to happen because they have boogeymen set up in place. That's what people just miss with this stuff. Like, did you hear all the power grid's going to go down because the people in Congress are paying enough attention to it, and we're going to have a solar flare from the sun. It's going to be as simple as this. A button that says off. They're going to push it. They're planning on pushing it. They're preparing to push. That's why celebrities have their underground bunkers, their apocalypse bunkers, food stored up, etc. They've already programmed you with expecting this to occur. Even with the outbreak, we saw limited supplies and groceries, supply chains being shut off. This is all going to go down. Dennis Quaid's right. But Dennis Quaid's not going to be affected by it because Dennis Quaid's going to be in Antarctica or in a bunker somewhere where he's already prepared. Not because Dennis Quaid saw the warning signs and prepared, because Dennis Quaid knows the script. All these celebrities know the script. And what's important to them is after this goes down is that you believe the narrative that's in place about the sun, right? We've all seen solar flares and stuff come from. Have we? Oh, you mean in movies? As I've looked up at the sun, I haven't seen solar flares come out with my own eyes. Is anyone else out there? Oh, well, you need to tell what kind of excuse you need to give me? Oh, is that the bullcrap we're going to believe? Because you showed us images of the sun and flares coming out, just like you showed us NASA and the fake images of space and going to the moon. No thanks. No thanks. Believe what you can see with your own eyes. Don't believe this stuff that they tell you that you're supposed to see and believe because the news is formulated. If you knew that it was created in a Hollywood studio, you wouldn't believe it. But they tell you that it's the actual reality while they tell you that the movie's the fiction. So back to Quaid, okay? Quaid is another one of these puppets who is playing the conservative side. Now, he's a B-list celebrity, but I guess in the world of the conservatives out there who are celebrities, he's more of an A-lister because they really give you a slim pickings on the guys that they roll out, which would show me that they're probably more rewarded in the secret societies and the Brotherhood than others out there because it seems like it's not a role that people like Brad Pitt, etc. want to play because they love the fact that people drool and worship them so much so. But Dennis Quaid plays the role like Dean Cain, like these low-budget celebrities who are leaving California, who are pro-Trump, who are warning you about these things. They're conditioning you. They want you to be prepared when it happens to have something in place to blame it on, okay? The narrative they're giving you is false. Quaid knows what's going to happen. Carlson knows what's going to happen. This is all planned. The people who come out of this and survive what happens, and there's going to be a lot of people who don't survive what happens, but the people who do, they're going to still be here. Tucker's going to be here. Quaid's going to be here. And they're going to say, we warned you. And everyone's going to go, they knew ahead of time. They warned us. And they're going to follow these people. They're going to follow them into honeypots. They're going to follow them into believing that the answer to all this stuff is the new infrastructure that comes in place. They're getting this infrastructure out. Okay, I talked about it for a long time. Let me just recap this, right? Take a deep breath with me. We all look at Davos, we look at the World Economic Forum, who are meeting right now, by the way, I'll be covering that. And we see the wickedness. We hear the stuff they say, right? The overall theme of everything they say is about global governance. Okay, artificial intelligence governance, right? The infrastructure in place now would not allow that to happen because every building has to be run on a smart technology, et cetera, et cetera. So all businesses have to shut down. That means small businesses, it means businesses that aren't on board, businesses that have to build new infrastructure inside of it. So you look at all the small business owners, they have to go out of business, right? Well, what just happened to put them out of business? Lots of things. What continues to happen to put them out of business? Cities are being destroyed by design. They're allowing crime to run amok. No, not because Democrats are looking around going, we love people of color, so we won't arrest them. That's the narrative the Republicans want you to have. They're allowing it to happen so the infrastructure crumbles. Because the only way they can have this enslavement society is with digital infrastructure, which means digital ID, digital electric vehicles, all of this stuff that's controllable for them and by them. But if the infrastructure isn't in place, they can't have that. So they need to do these things. So when people message me and they go, oh, this stuff about a grid shutdown, it's never happening. They're saying it's never happening because they think that they need to keep everybody's minds under control while the grid goes down. And they don't. They've already prepared you for it to go down. When the grid comes back on, and your bank account's at zero, right? These are things people don't mention about how the Great Reset's gonna work. All your money and everything's gonna be gone when this thing happens. Everything's gonna be wiped clean. And people are gonna be so thrilled when electricity comes back, if they are able to survive somehow, that they'll do whatever they're asked. They'll do whatever they're told. It's not gonna be the grid down for 15 years. It's gonna be the grid down for an extended period of time. It's also going to depopulate, as you heard Dennis Quaid say, right? A lot of people will die. People think, oh, the power will be off, I'll be fine. Yeah, have your power for a week. I see people act like the world is ended. A week without power. Because they don't know how to start a fire, they don't have fireplaces in their homes, etc. They don't have water, they have, they don't have well water, so they don't have access to water because electricity, like you heard Quaid mention, right? They're not prepared for this stuff, right? Caveman, they call it. But in reality, it's the way we all should be living, because we shouldn't be depending on the government for things like food and water. We should be doing it ourselves. But we've gotten to a point, and they've done this by design, where everybody, no matter what, they're focused on going to the office. They want the women to go to the office, and men to go to the office, sit there, have pointless jobs, but parade around like they have an important job, and all distracted, all from the actual things that we need in everyday life, food and water, right? And when the grid gets shut down, no matter if you're the CEO of a major corporation or you're a plumber, right? Everybody's on the same page because nobody's prepared themselves for how to have food and water except a very few amount of people. So this whole narrative that they're giving you with solar farms is not real. It's not real. This whole narrative they're giving you about the grid getting shut down is real. But it's only real not because of the things that they're saying they see, where they're like, oh, we see vulnerability. You know how many videos I've done in the past and covered with all these stories about vulnerable power grids, there's extremists who are shutting down the grid, rolling blackouts, security about, rolling blackouts, raising alarm about the security of the state's power grids. We've been warned hackers have the power to leave us in the dark. Attacks on the power substations are growing. Why the electric grid is vulnerable. Why it's hard to protect. This is conditioning. It's mind control conditioning. Seed planting in your mind to blame all of these things for when it goes off. Because if everybody knew, no matter if it was a liberal or a Republican, that some people working together flipped the switch, it would erase all the mind control they've done. Because everybody would stop seeing skin color. They'd stop seeing lib versus conservative. They'd stop seeing gay versus straight, all of it. And they'd say, let's go get them. These people mess with our lives. My mom got sick and died because of no electricity, died of starvation, whatever, hypothermia. Then people would band together and they go, why did they do that? Right? What are they doing? Why are they doing this to us? But the fact is they keep us divided. And they want you to believe that nobody could be this wicked, that we're all conspiracy nuts while this stuff is happening right around us. And then they blame it on boogeymen. It's Russia. It's the sun now. The sun all of a sudden has decided that it's going to be real bad. And they go, well, in 1849, there were solar flares and it shut down the whole telegraph system, right? What do you think they're telling you that for? They're conditioning you by telling you about the telegraph system. Most people hear that and they just go, oh, whatever, who cares, right? They're telling you about the telegraph system because that was a reset of the infrastructure, okay? Whatever they did then was not a solar flare either. They reset the infrastructure then with the telegraphs, and they're resetting it now. They know people will not willingly go along with this stuff. But if put in a position where they don't have a choice, they will. And the only way you're going to be put in a position where you don't have a choice is with everything off. And the only way you can get electricity is by bowing down to them and their green energy and all this stuff, blaming natural gas and all this stuff while eliminating it and saying this is the new way we live. And everyone will just go, fine, just give me my phone back. Imagine these people without their phone for 6 months, what they'll be like to get them back, right? Let alone food and water, everything else will be more concerned about their phones likely. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. It's true. So the government will be able to do whatever they want to these people, all people. When the grid comes back on, they will comply. They'll drive an electric vehicle. They'll just be happy to drive. At that point, they won't be fighting going, oh, this electric vehicle crap. They're conditioning you for all that stuff. They know people out there are going to look at it and say that they don't want to be a part of that. They don't want an electric vehicle. Oh, what if the electric vehicle shuts down? I can't drive cross country anymore, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. After a 6-month grid shut off, they'll go, I'm just glad that I have a car. I don't have to walk anywhere anymore. I can at least go to the store. That's good enough for me now. That's what this is. It's conditioning. Carlson's not warning you. Quaid's not warning you. They're conditioning you. And they want you to believe the reasoning for this is the reasoning they're giving you. They're setting you up to think it's all these other things. Because if you realize that all of them are working together, Quaid's only talking about this because he's told to talk about it. Because this is how mind control works. They tell you all this stuff. They prepare you for all this stuff. They condition you to accept these things when they happen for the reasons they tell you that they happen, right? If all this stuff happened without any preparation, people will be suspicious. They go, WTF? Why is the power off? The sun's out. Why is the Everybody would get mad. And they get together and they go, someone's doing this. We're going to get to the bottom of it. They have the enemy in place already. Did you hear talking about the enemy? The enemy's the sun, right? The enemy's the sun. They're telling you enemies. You see that little coding in there about the enemy if you're still listening at this point? The enemy. It's not a real enemy. It's not Putin or it's the sun. It's an enemy we all share, but it's not really an enemy. It's nothing we could do about it, right? So when you're conditioned into all of this stuff, when it all happens, you already say, well, they told us it was going to happen. It's finally happened. We got to do something about it. We're going to have to go green. We don't have a choice anymore. There's no more electricity. Instead of going, you're telling me that our whole way of life, everything we've done, everything that we've worked for, all taken from us because these people decided to flip the switch. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. That's the Great Reset. It's coming. The grid is being shut off, but not for the reasons that they tell you. And we've seen it. How many times have I shown you stuff? Here's a little predictive program if you're still listening. We've seen Leave the World Behind. We've seen other movies with EMP solar. There's a little predictive program because we've seen it in movies over and over and over again.
I went online this morning and I rented this beautiful house out by the beach.
Oh, this is nice. This looks so happy.
The Wi-Fi is working.
I'm so sorry to bother you, but this is our house.
This is your house?
We were driving back to the city, then something happened. You think everything's gonna be okay?
We're seeing ongoing cyber attacks across the country.
Something is happening and I don't trust them.
I would do anything to protect my family. What you do is your business.
Get in the car right now!
Haven't you been picking up on what's going on out there?
Whatever it is, it's happening to all of us. What is the truth?
Very, very carefully. It's all going to turn off. What? It's going to turn off and it will never, ever turn back on. Everything's going to turn off.
Ben, did I lose you? No.
So be prepared. They're preparing you. They're conditioning you. Leave the World Behind just came out. They asked Barry Sortoro, Barack Obama, to be in on the script so it's as real as possible since Barry knows how this is all going to play out, right? Oh, an EMP, cyber attacks, all these things, all these boogeymen in place for the new infrastructure. That's what it's about. Keep that in the back of your mind always. New infrastructure, global AI infrastructure, global enslavement. Okay, this ain't fun and games. Digital, they're like, oh, digital, it sounds fun and easy. It's enslavement. It's control, total control of you. I thank you for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless all of you as always, and your families.
Rarin. Oh, buddy, we've got some good cards for you today. I picked some cards that are, let's say, very Hearthstone inspired. These are some of the weirdest, like, funky mechanics that we've ever seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! And your goal today is to figure out if these cards ever